All right, welcome back to the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Com. Rich Walsh alongside Tim Benz, where you're taking your phone calls tonight, 412-575-2600. Well, the Steelers, some of them are at the Pro Bowl. Some of the coaches are at the Senior Bowl right now. Mike Tomlin and Kevin Colbert are both at the Senior Bowl scouting some individuals. And, Tim, you heard they could be looking at a quarterback.
Well, I got a text from somebody who covers another team in the AFC who's down there covering the Senior Bowl, and he said that Tomlin was taking a good, long, hard look at the quarterbacks underneath the goalpost, watch the quarterbacks work out. And does that mean that he's about to draft a quarterback? No, it does not. It doesn't mean that. It just means he's looking at, because if I'm not saying this now, somebody else is going to say, oh, Tomlin's watching the quarterbacks, just the quarterbacks, and that's how it's going to go. Maybe he is. Or maybe, as Tomlin always says, we look at guys, we scout guys a lot of times, not just for the draft, but for the first time when they hit free agency. So I'm sure he was looking at the quarterbacks. I don't believe for a second that they are as comfortable with Mason Rudolph as they want us to believe as the number 2 quarterback. I'm sure there are guys that he looked at the Senior Bowl 4 years ago when they thought they were going to have Ben Roethlisberger for 8 more years, that they are now potentially going to sign as a free agent, flashing back to some things they looked at the Senior Bowl back then. So I think that's maybe what this is more about. Now, maybe this is just in case Ben starts to work out, throw again, the arm's not there, potentially. But you're going to see, somebody else is going to have that same report. Boy, Tomlin was looking at the quarterbacks for a long time. I don't think you have to make the correlation that they're going to draft a quarterback in the second round.
I do not see, I do not see them drafting a quarterback high in this draft at all. Maybe late in the round. And I think the reason that they're high on Mason Rudolph to be their second quarterback is because they have to right now. They can't afford to go out and get a good backup. Yeah. They just can't do it.
Because if you say at this point, no, we're not confident in Mason Rudolph, then you paint yourself into a corner to do something in the draft or free agency, and they have so many other needs that they need to fill, and they have so few other picks to address these other holes because they don't have a first-round pick. But don't tell Twitter that, because Twitter will just tell you that the first-round draft choice is Minkah Fitzpatrick, which he is not. He is not both a player on last year's team and this year's first-round draft choice. You can't be both. Despite what Twitter is trying to tell you, you cannot be both, and it's driving me crazy. It's like you can't bring up the absence of the first-round pick with the Steelers without getting sucked into this debate about Minkah being the first-round draft choice. He was a player on last year's team, a really good one. I'd make the trade again.
So would I.
But that doesn't mean that there isn't an absence of a first-round pick. The first-round pick does not exist for the Steelers this year.
I'm advocating that the Steelers draft J.K. Dobbins in the second round if he's still there. So let's hear what Craig has to say. Craig, where are you from? Rossiter.
Greg from Rossiter.
Greg. Hey, Greg. Greg.
Tony.
How you doing
tonight, Rich?
Good, thanks for calling.
My question to you is: the Steelers come into this offseason with the salary cap issues. Who do you feel they will sign or release? Is my question to you tonight.
All right. Well, my answer is I think that Anthony Chickalo's gone. That's going to clear up some cap space. Maybe
they won't keep Davis.
Davis is gone. Barron potentially could be gone. That's about, I think, all their cap casualties.
Foster won't come back.
Potentially Ramon Foster.
What they do with B.J. Finney.
They won't sign Hargrave, who's their biggest free agent.
Well, I'm not as 100% certain about that.
Even Hargrave, the last game of the year, he seemed resigned to the fact that he wasn't coming back.
I don't think they can keep him and Bud Dupree.
So I think what they want to do.
But if they figure out they can't keep Dupree, then they'd be inclined to keep Hargrave.
I think you're right.
Also, I think.
But wouldn't they franchise Dupree before they even?
Maybe. But if he tells them I'm going to pull 11, I'm not going to report, they're not going to do it again, are they?
Yeah, probably not, because then they have to carry over that money to the next year, and they could probably use that money in free agency.
I could see a potential where maybe they try to move some money around or try to do something with Stephon Tuitt's contract. If they can't make it work, maybe they let go of Tuitt and they sign Hargrave for less.
All right, well,
I wouldn't advocate that, but I could see that as a potential. I just don't see him being gone as a lock yet today in the middle of January.
I think that they're going to do everything they can to lock up Bud Dupree for. They say long-term, but I think they'd rather do 1 year because they're going to have to look at T.J. Watt next year, who's going to have a big contract, and you can't have 2 big contracts there at outside linebackers. I don't think
You can.
but you can't. But then they need help on offense right now.
If they're going to keep playing a 3-4, they better have 2 big contracts to the outside linebacker. Then that means they have 2 good outside linebackers.
You're right, but don't you?
They did it once before.
You
It just
need a
didn't
pretty
work
good
out.
receiver.
It just
What are you
didn't
gonna
work
do
out
if you
because Lamar Woodley wasn't good after he signed his contract. But they would have liked to have 2 big tickets on the outside.
Well, where are you going to spend the money on offense? I mean, Juju is going to be due for a contract. You need a running back, it looks like.
I wouldn't mind signing Hunter Henry at tight end.
You need a tight end. Vance McDonald's another guy that's going to be gone, I think.
Especially if you sign Hunter Henry.
Yeah,
No, but then
right.
again, there's another
What about
injury-prone
Ebron?
tight huh?
Ebron's available too.
Yeah, I think when healthy, Henry would be better for their offense.
All right, let's go back out to the phone lines. We got Dave out in New Sewickley. What's up, Dave?
Hey guys, how you doing?
How close is New Sewickley to Old Sewickley?
Pretty close. We're like 10 minutes from Cranberry.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, Brown, it's a shame. He could be with the Steelers for another good 5 years. He's probably one of the top 5 receivers in the league. But you guys are right. I think he's going to blow a fuse. I just hope somebody stands up and helps the poor dude. You know, give him one last shot.
Yeah, I hope he gets help
Well,
too. But
what do you say, one last shot? You mean one last shot in the NFL? You cannot bring him back to a National Football League team under these circumstances.
well, that's what I was going to ask you. What would need to happen for him to get back on an NFL team?
Well, to your earlier point, the easy suggestion is, well, he needs the structure of the National Football League to be a better citizen again, right?
Yeah.
But why should a National Football League feel the onus to bring a guy who's facing charges as it is, and now more charges on top of that with this rock throwing thing? And
battery. I mean,
to go completely insane in your locker room, why would you willingly invite that in? It's not the onus of the National Football League to give him structure. He's got to show he can operate within structure and then have an NFL team sign him.
do you think he's too far gone, or could he go get help and maybe kind of rehabilitate himself, his image, and be back in the NFL next year?
I don't like it when Dr. Chow plays doctor on the air about knee injuries. Far be it for me to play psychologist
Yeah,
on
I'm
the
not
air.
gonna try to
He just
either.
strikes me as somebody who's pretty far down the rabbit hole right now and needs a lot of help.
All right, let's go back out to the phone lines. We got Jerry out in Hempfield. What's up, Jerry? How you doing?
Hey, Rich, I talked to you when the Pirates got rid of, top management and got rid of their coach. And you said, I guess they told you that they're looking to really improve this team, to turn it around. And now they come out with a cap of $65 million, which is less than last year.
Yeah.
So the new manager must say, oh, my goodness. So when the Pirates tell you that they're looking around to do this, you know what? Remember this word, Rich. It's another canard that they're doing with you. Remember that word I told you, canard?
Okay.
So that means they're lying to you. So I don't know what the Pirates are doing, but they're not going to change
You know what?
Well, they are
Thanks a lot,
spending-
Jerry.
They are spending $2 million on more comfy seats.
So
So there'll be $2 million spent on a lot of seats for nobody to sit in.
It's hard to believe what the Pirates tell you over the last few years, because it seems like we've been duped time and time again. I wish they would just come out and say this is a rebuild, because that's what it is. The fact that you didn't go out and get the most important need right now as catcher, that just goes to show that they're rebuilding. It's not.
They still
They
might
don't
trade
even use
Marte.
and they didn't trade Marte. They're going to trade him at some point. I mean, they used the word retooling last year, but just come out. If you're not going out and get a catcher, you're not going to compete.
Real quick, Ben Cherington, a lot of people are heralding what he did in Boston. Could he do it in Pittsburgh because he won that World Series by getting a bunch of cheap mid-market guys? The dawn was never going to come up on a day where they were going to sign 7 mid-tier free agents like he did in Boston. That was never going to happen.
And
Even though they're not big-ticket items, there was a lot of them, and that was never going to happen.
They haven't even signed one mid-tier free agent
No.
right now. They signed a catcher that's going to be invited to the Major League camp, the 3-name guy, John Ryan Murphy. They signed another catcher, but they didn't go out and get a catcher that they needed to improve to actually go out and compete. So now, I mean, I know we got to get to break here, but it's plain and simple. It's right there to see that they need to trade Marte. They need to trade all their assets and start over again. That's the way it looks to me.
Yeah, and it's a long way to go to get to again. When you say start over again,
Well,
where is again?
All right, we're going to take a break. Back in a couple of minutes.